Hey, what's up fellas? Welcome to this new video. I'm trying out something else for the audio because my camera mic absolutely sucks. Anyway, today we'll be making some fat IKEA drip out of some cheap IKEA bags. Let's get on with it, shall we? So I started off with removing the stitches attaching the handles to the bag. I did this using a special cutting tool, but you can also do it carefully with a knife. Just be careful not to cut the handle itself. After that, we got ourselves a long strip, which will go down the sleeve, or it will be used for the fanny pack. Now we just need a few more. We now have 4 handles, 2 for the hoodie and 2 for the fanny pack. We'll also save the bags, as they will be used for the fanny pack. Then the strips had to be ironed smooth. I did this on a low heat, as the handles are mostly plastic. It can melt the plastic and ruin the strip and your iron. That's also why I kept checking the iron for molten leftovers. When that was done, I carefully melted the ends so they wouldn't fray. I ordered the actual hoodie in China, as the proper color was hard to find. Do be careful when ordering clothes in China, as they are relatively small. I usually wear medium, so I ordered extra large, but it was still too small. Now due to different lighting, it might change color a bit, but I'll show you the proper color at the end of the video. It was now time to pin down the strips to the sleeves. It's pretty hard to get the strips lined up on your own, so eventually I just asked my dad to help and he pinned the strips down. And it looked a little bit like this. Anyway, it was time to sew. Now, I've never sewn before, so it was quite new to me. That's also why the sewing took an immense amount of time. I used the sewing machine for the fanny pack, but I couldn't use it for the hoodie, as the sleeves wouldn't fit over the foot. When one side of the strip was done, I cut the excess off and melted the end again. Then we went on with sewing again.
Take it easy. Now get into groovy and make a movie.
And the hoodie was done. Both strips were properly attached to the sleeves. Now for the fanny pack, I used the bag itself. To get a workable sheet, I started off with removing the rest of the stitches. I copied a template that I fetched online so I could get the correct shape. Apparently, this was just a template which you could design online and send it to the company which would make the fanny pack for you. Well, this wasn't really what I planned, so eventually I had to improvise because the template didn't even have a backside. I started off with cutting out the template. Then I stuck them to a piece of bag material. Because I could only print A4 paper, the template was a little bit too small. To fix this, I traced a line 2 cm from the actual border. Therefore, it still had the correct proportions, but it was a little bit bigger. I cut the piece out and it was time for the second piece. I also traced a line 2 cm from the border here. For the little square parts, I just used a square piece of paper to trace around. After cutting the piece out, I traced the lines which would act as fold lines. This will create the proper shape of the fanny pack. I salvaged a broken zipper from an old bag, which would be perfect for the fanny pack. In order to fix it, I got the actual zipper off and reconnected the 2 strips. I cut them to length and then I just pushed the zipper on and it worked again. Before pinning it down, I closed the end of the zipper as well. I did this because I didn't want the zipper to come off. The fanny pack had to be pinned in a specific way. All these stitches had to be on the inside, so it looked reasonable, but for the actual sewing, they had to be on the outside. This means that I had to create the fanny pack inside out and eventually turn it the right way when it was done. Here you can already see the fanny pack getting its shape. I just had to add the IKEA logo to the front. I used a bit of excess strip for that. For a cleaner look, I folded the ends over and pinned them in place. I centered the logo and it was time for the sewing machine. It was also my first time using this device, so luckily my mom was there to explain. I sewed along the pins and removed them during the process. The result was pretty promising. It really started to look like a fanny pack. Now, to stop the zipper from falling off, I sewed both ends of the zipper strips together. To hide the ugly zipper stubs, I cut out some small pieces of IKEA strip. I folded them over to hide the edges and I sewed them over the zipper stub. It was now time for the back side of the pack. As I didn't know the proper shape for it, I just started pinning the front to the piece of bag material. When I was happy with the shape, I cut it out. To finalize the shape, I adjusted the edges to the width of the IKEA strip. I then sewed the whole thing shut. Cutting away the final axis leaves us with the finished pack. As I said, we just have to fold it inside out.
Wow!
To clean up the edges, I also folded these over and sewed them in place. Until this tragedy happened. Anyway, when that was done, I attached the band and sewed it in place. just have one more step left to do, and that is attaching the buckle. For this, I just cut the band open at a suitable place. I burnt the edges again. Whoa. Anyway, I pinned one end shut so the buckle couldn't fall off, and I left the other one open for an adjustable band. And I was very happy that this was the last thing to sew. It was finally done. Well, I think it turned out pretty good. It took a lot of time, but it was definitely worth it. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, where we're gonna try and make an RC airplane. Goodbye.